Germantown, the other Regina. In 2016, I was asked by Heritage Regina to conduct the historic Germantown walking tour. I called the walk Germantown, the other Regina, because this was the non-Anglo-Saxon part of town and had been settled by Germans, Eastern Europeans, Jews, the Chinese, and the Japanese. In recent times, the area has been home to First Nations people and newly arrived immigrants. Unfortunately, the early inhabitants left little in the way of written accounts of their lives in the district, so I was forced to concentrate on what was left of the local architecture. For the purpose of my walk, Germantown was defined as the area between Broad and Winnipeg Streets, Saskatchewan Drive, and Victoria Avenue. We started the tour in front of the old No. 1 Fire Hall, which in 2016 was covered with plastic tarps, making it hard to see some of the unique features of this building, which was designed by the noted Regina architects Clem Shaw and Portnell. It has an intentional European look, with dormer windows, a gable roof, and a clock tower, complete with a weather vane of a firefighter. Well, the plastic wrap has since come off, and the restored building looks wonderful. Wonderful. Horse feathers? According to local historian, photographer, and travel writer Kenton De Jong, the images in this video were all taken by Kenton. When the fire hall was first erected, the fire department had fire horses. These horses were actually farm horses, trained to run to the fire hall when the fire bell started to ring. Over the years, they were replaced by trucks, but rather than putting them down, the horses were sent to work in sanitation. It was a good arrangement, until the next alarm, when the ringing fire bell caused the loyal horses to automatically run to the fire hall, strewing garbage from their carts all over the streets. The next stop, and directly across 11th Avenue, was the Pish Block, which provides living proof that tour guides should always look at the buildings they intend to describe. The image on screen clearly shows two different structures with different colored brick. The section to the left, with the lighter colored brick, was the site of Massig's drugstore, built by William Massig in 1931. In 1948, George Pish, a former baker, bought the building and extended it to Osler Street. The newer section features darker, reddish brick. And you know it's his addition, that it's George's addition, as it is topped by a date stone which reads, George P., 1948. George's section was designed in what was called the Art Moderne style, and its coolest feature is a wraparound window along Osler, topped by 2 rows of glass bricks. Now, believe it or not, I didn't notice the 2 separate buildings, the difference, until the day before I conducted the tour for the very first time. In spite of rehearsing how many times? And I've rehearsed this script a lot too, but I'm still gonna mispronounce something. Listen and learn. Kenton's picture shows the late lamented The Artful Dodger, which was a restaurant club that operated on the main floor, but which is now closed. A halal grocery store was recently opened, occupying the Massig drugstore space. Now, just behind the Pish block on Osler is the Chinese Nationalist Party building, which dates from 1923. The Germantown area was home for both the Chinese and Japanese communities, and an attempt was made to make the area into Regina's Chinatown, Regina being the only big city in Canada without a Chinatown. Now, next door to the Chinese Nationalist Party building was the home of Yi Clun, owner of the Exchange Cafe on Rose Street, who went to court in 1924 to fight a Saskatchewan provincial law that required him to get a municipal license to hire white women as employees. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Well, Mr. Yi lost in court, but won his case on appeal to the Saskatchewan Court of King's Bench. Mr. Yi's case is fully documented in the book Color-Coded, A Legal History of Racism in Canada, 1900 to 1950, by Constance Backhouse, available at all fine libraries. An art installation commemorating the case can be found in the Art Park on 11th Avenue, across from the Municipal Justice Building, which we will visit later. A block east of Osler, on Halifax Street, is the Marion Center, operated since 1966 by the Roman Catholic Church to provide hot meals, warm clothing, and spiritual support for the transient community. But before that, it was home to Der Courier, Regina's German language newspaper. It was operated by Paul Brett, who was connected to the Liberal Party, which governed Saskatchewan in 1913, the year this building was built. It is interesting architecturally for the central pediment between the first and second floors, and for stone panels at the tops of the columns, which feature a design representing a capital, an architectural term for the top of a column or pilaster. According to Kenton De Jong, during World War I, with Canada at war with Germany, some Regina residents regarded the people of Germantown, with their own German language newspaper, Der Courier, as enemy aliens and a potential threat. As a result, Kenton says some hotheads attempted to burn down the home of Der Courier's printer. Fortunately, they failed. But hostility towards Germans and other Eastern Europeans didn't end when the Great War ended in 1918. Many know that the Victoria Club on Victoria Avenue was once known as the original German club, but they don't know why it changed its name. On the evening of Thursday, May 16, 1940, a mob of 400 civilians and soldiers raided the German club, the Austrian kitchen, Feisel's pool room, and the Ukrainian Labor Temple at 1809 Toronto Street, which is now the Ukrainian Cultural Center. The riot was caused by a rumor that Nazi sympathizers were planning to celebrate the German conquest of the Netherlands, and it resulted in about $4,000 worth of damages, $70,000 in today's money. Ironically, many of the businesses damaged weren't even run by Germans. But the image you see on screen now is of a different German club, the German Canadian Society Harmonie on St. John Street, which was formed in 1955 with the current chalet-style building opening in 1968. They even have a maypole in front of the building featuring various club logos and images of people in traditional German dress. Now, This is a German club, right? So naturally you'd expect to find some beer there. So here's what's on tap, in the can, or the bottle. Erdinger, Dunkel and Weiss beer. Hacker Shore, Dark Gold Weiss. Newcastle Brown Ale. Nokomis Brown Ale. Nokomis IPA. Original 16. Pilsner. Radburger. Plus, in bottle, Aventius, DAB, Erdinger, Weissbier or Dunkel, Hoffenweiss, Radburger, or Stiegel. You can also get a pint of Dark and Stormy Night, which is Krabby's ginger beer with Kraken dark rum. Oh, my throat's getting dry from all this reading, and that list has made me awfully thirsty. Just one moment, please. Aha. That's better. I just hope I don't belch or anything. Excuse me. Okay, so back to work. Now, right next door is the Ukrainian National Federation Auditorium. And I regard this simple building as a perfect building, largely as a result of the decorative brickwork, which highlights the stucco and links the two cantons, which are the two columns along the side, with the tower above the entrance. As well, each of the cantons in the tower are topped by the traditional Ukrainian cupola. Cupola. Simple, but perfect and beautiful. Indeed, the whole building looks like a happy face, welcoming you. This building was built in 1931, but functioned as an evangelical temple from 1941 to 1950, a fact which always puzzled me, until a Ukrainian friend told me it was sold because the local Ukrainian community was unable to keep it going during the Depression. But they bought it back after more prosperous times returned after World War II. Last stop. The Municipal Justice Building. This Art Deco building was built in 1930 as the new headquarters for the Regina Police Department. It was from the garage at the back that Regina policemen emerged to help the RCMP swarm the crowds assembled in the Market Square directly behind the building, touching off the Regina riot of 1935, which is a story which deserves its own video. It served as police headquarters until 1978. The architect of this rather grim edifice was Harold Dawson, the provincial architect of the period. A city of Regina crest with the Latin motto, Floreat Regina, or Let Regina Flourish, appears above the main entrance. But what I think it should say is, Abandon all hope, ye that enter here. To me, this building, which no doubt witnessed many unhappy events, always presents a somber facade, a bleak house, as it were. If you go to look at it, go on a gray, overcast day. And if you don't experience a certain shrinking of the spirit, you're a better person than I am. Today, the Germantown area is home to many First Nations people, as celebrated by this colorful mural at the side of the Furman Block at 11th and Halifax, a 1928 building constructed by Otto Furman for his meat market. It was considered one of the finest buildings in the area and was erected at a cost of $40,000, or $600,000 in today's funds. The area is also seen some new businesses established by Asian and Middle Eastern people. This short video has only managed to touch on a small number of the interesting buildings and historic spots found in the Germantown area. I am by no means an expert on the neighborhood, and much of my information comes from the excellent City of Regina Heritage Walking Tour. I've left a link in the description for viewers to check it out and start walking. I've also left a link to the Germantown article on Kenton De Jong's travel site. As well, in addition, you should also visit the Heritage Regina website for a listing of their upcoming programs, and of course, there's a link in the description. Any errors in this video are mine alone, and feel free to correct me in the comments. If you grew up in the Germantown area and have a story about the people and the places that you'd like to share, please contact me at wsjxxx@gmail.com. That's WSJ, 3 X's, @gmail.com. Or leave a comment, as I'd like to include more human interest stories on future walks or in short videos such as this one. This video is posted to my Scary Story YouTube channel, A Warning to the Curious, The Night Floaters, which I hope you'll check out. Many of my weird tales are in fact set in Regina. So be sure to visit 11th Avenue between Broad and Winnipeg, and if you should see a fat man with a white beard and glasses, be sure to say hi. It's probably me. Hey, you could even buy me a beer. Signing off from 11th Avenue, Warren James.